Welcome back to Digi Bros.
Welcome back. I don't know. Connor wants to talk about some bullshit.
Yeah, well, we saw Jungle Book 2 days ago.
Yeah, probably 3 days ago.
Who
But I had
fucking
hopes
knows?
for like 2 or 3 days.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, man.
It was all right.
It was cool.
I was annoyed when we walked out of the theater, as I think you were too, that we were trying to discuss the things that kind of bothered us, and we got shat on by our stupid friends who are idiots and don't have any appreciation for film.
Yes.
Because there's a part...
I was just like, oh, they don't get it.
There's a part in the movie where it's the King Louis part.
Yeah. Even though Hope saw it too, and she wasn't bothered by that part either. But I was just like, nah, it wasn't
because
good.
the only reason that the King Louis part is in there is because it's in the original movie.
Yes.
You know, like, because this movie is pretty straight up adaptation of the original Disney Jungle Book. As far as I know. I haven't watched the Jungle Book in 20 years, but I vaguely remember it. And look, I don't like any of the old Disney movies in general. Most of them I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know how the original Jungle Book played out, if it was as tightly written as this.
I do want to rewatch that one now that I saw the new one.
This movie felt like every scene was like or every like major part was like mostly kind of just fucking around, and then there was like one little bit of what was important to the plot.
Yeah.
You know? But, like, you know, Mowgli hanging out with Baloo, for instance. He's hanging out with the bear. It's a good, fun time. But the main point is that he's developing his skills as doing human stuff.
It was like character building.
Yeah, it was like a character development thing.
He was finally accepting himself.
There's the moment where Baloo tells him, like, you know, I don't want to be friends with you anymore because he's trying to get him to go to the human village.
Yes.
Right? And so that was kind of like the low point of his arc. And that was like, okay, everything's settled and we know exactly where the plot's going. And then he gets kidnapped by monkeys and just completely sidetracks the plot.
Yes.
And then at the end of that scene, then King Louis tells him, oh, didn't you know Akela died? And that's the only important thing in the whole scene.
Yes.
Other than that, it's just an excuse to have Christopher Walken as a giant monkey sing a
awesome.
song. Right. It's cool that he was... Christopher Walken as a giant monkey was cool.
Yes.
The song was awkward. Because he's just
awkward.
sitting there.
Yeah. Because
Hope
said she thought it was funny and hilarious that Christopher Walken sang the song, but it's like, but it was awkward because he's sitting there. It's like the camera's all whipping around trying to make it look like something's going on, but he's just sitting there.
Yeah, it was really weird.
And I'm sure, like
in the original, he's dancing
around. You know, it's a whole musical scene.
Right.
But this is just like he stops for a second and sings a song out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, and it didn't even really seem that it's like the idea of King Louis is that he's like a weird eccentric, right?
Yeah.
But like he seemed more like a mafia boss.
Yeah,
that's who then just suddenly starts singing. You know, and it was like what?
Weird. And his face isn't very expressive in that way. It was just kind of like, huh.
Yeah, it felt like out of place. Whereas they worked the Bare Necessity song in really well because it felt like it was just part of their everyday life that they sang this song. Like it was diegetic. Whereas the King Louis song was just kind of like, why is he fucking singing? Why is he singing in this weird way at him, you know?
Yeah.
So I thought that was bizarre. And I mean, the scene
like they made the choice to make him a giant monkey. I don't think he was originally a giant monkey.
He was.
You know?
He was pretty big, but like.
But he was orangutan sized. Like he's an orangutan, and they made him a giant orangutan.
He's a Gigantopithecus.
Yeah, he's a Gigantopithecus.
He's a giant monkey. He was that in the original. He sings the same line.
I remember being that huge, but yeah.
But
oh, this is a hard boss to do Digi Bros with.
He's just a hard boss in general.
I need a stronger weapon.
This boss is really hard. Yes. He gave me by far the hardest time.
I didn't want to just end up using my weapon I used before, but now I'm like, I kind of want to just use my badass weapon.
Which badass weapon?
The fucking lightning hammer.
Oh.
Axe thing. This thing's just not super strong. Let me at least try it with Smo's hammer.
Oh.
That at least is strong as fuck.
Slow.
Yeah, I can only get in one hit anyways.
Well, good luck getting
What's the rolling hit like?
Was that your roll?
Crap all my shit, yeah.
No, you want to have at least one piece of armor on everywhere. Just put on light armor. You gain an automatic bonus just by having anything.
I gotta have like really light shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I thought the scene was weird.
Yeah. I would recommend everyone go see this movie though, because it's awesome.
It's pretty good.
That was pretty cool. A little cringy, a little corny sometimes.
Yeah.
With the wolves. I really didn't like the wolf people, but I think it's because they just remind me of like.
Shoes.
Yeah, I did. I got pants on.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty okay. I'd give it like a 7. Yeah. Light to decent 7.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
fun. It's just a fun movie. I'm glad it exists. I'm glad you can have a movie about one little Indian kid and a bunch of fucking animals. Like that's cool as shit to me that they made this movie, that they didn't like half-ass it.
I would say also the Ka scene is a little out of nowhere, where it's just like, how can we do let's just use Ka to dump the entire exposition of why Mowgli is here and then never have her show up again. Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure Ka comes back in the original movie. Like, I'm pretty sure he's there
was a dude before, and then I think he had a song where it's like because they do the they play the music and then they play the song at the end. I'm like, why didn't they fit that song in if they did an awkward Christopher Walken song? But whatever.
Yeah, but there's Kaz just kind of like shows up, is kind of intimidating, exposits the entire backstory of Mowgli.
I mean, it was very like the whole movie is beautiful to me, and that's why I wanted to see it because I love the way it looks.
I wanted to see it because
that whole scene looked great.
The previews looked really cool, and I like Jon Favreau as a director.
It was very atmospheric.
Did the Iron Man movies, which are great.
Yeah,
big fan.
Did Chef? Yeah.
What is Chef?
Chef.
I've seen this.
I haven't seen it either.
I know he did. Really he did that one. I don't remember what it's called. He did like a 90s movie that's popular for its dialogue. That he was also one of the lead actors in.
Yeah, he's done a lot of acting too.
He was one of that scene where the scene where Mowgli's like getting the honey down and the 3 little animals are talking to Baloo.
He was the
he's
pig.
One of them. And then one of them was fucking Sam Raimi. Don't know why. I was like, maybe he just
they
cast
wanted lots of celebrity cameos.
Like he's also like, when has Sam Raimi ever acted? You know. There could be an answer to that I just don't know.
I did my magic thing and I got my fucking ass. You can't really roll out of the attack with.
Why were you trying to do the magic thing? You said he deflects magic.
What? No, I said my shield deflects magic.
Oh.
What the fuck are you talking about? I don't know what its thing. I think it's just like the power up. This is what the magic thing is. Can't really roll out of my attack with this hammer. I might as well go back and get a stronger weapon.
My favorite things about the Jungle Book movie. The first moment that really that really got me. I mean, I loved the visuals through the whole thing.
Yeah.
The movie looks, because just I thought about it like, this is what I really want a cyberpunk movie that looks like that movie. Like a concrete jungle that's like a sprawling jungle where like trees are all fucking intersect. There's a whole part with Ka is like all up. It's like up in the trees, but it looks like another world up there. You know, that part was cool. But
another funny thing, me and Hope were saying that we like. I think YMS would fucking hate this movie.
Oh, you think so?
My reason for it is because it's a movie that says, this is a movie about talking animals, therefore your suspension of disbelief doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And like all this ridiculous shit happens. Like one of the things towards the end where it's like the whole forest lights on fire immediately when he runs through it with the torch.
Right.
And then like he ran from the human village back to the normal place in like what seemed like the span of an hour. And like it seemed like it was really far away.
That is a good point.
And there's
I
just
didn't
like
think about
there's
that.
lots of shit like that I picked up on, and I was like, but I don't care, because I like the movie.
Yeah,
but
you probably found the biggest plot hole. The fact that he runs back so fast.
No, there's plenty of stuff like that. But like as soon as I brought it up, as soon as I even mentioned it to Brandon and those guys, it was just like, it's a movie about talking animals. And it's like, yeah, that's what they said too. Right. And so they say, oh, it doesn't care. We'll just write whatever the fuck we want. You just shit all over everything because it's a movie about talking animals. And it works. But that's what people who criticize cartoons always have to bring up.
Punch Trevor in the face for saying that.
It was Brandon, but
Brandon too. But it's such a stupid thing to say.
That's the thing that dissolves all criticism, and that's what they writing the movie decided to do, is dissolve all criticism. But if you want to be critical and have a fun conversation, then the movie asks you to suspend your disbelief like ridiculously.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, you got that leveled up pretty fast.
Yeah, I had a shitload, so I was like I was fully ready to upgrade this weapon.
Yeah, man, I didn't even realize that fucking running back thing.
There's several things.
Every fucking movie now has the one, like the moment when they're segueing into the climax. That's always when they throw the biggest bullshit moment at you.
Because they wrapped it up really fast. Like they said, okay, he found out whatever, he goes back and he gets the torch, and then he fucking runs and ends the movie. Like, they wrap it up really fast.
Yeah, well, because they get you because they know that you're so into the tension of the movie.
But the whole time I was just like, oh, they're doing it this way? Like, okay. And I was still into it because it was cool, but it, you know, I noticed what was going on.
Anyway, what I was gonna say, the first moment that I thought was really cool was that they when they go to the watering hole for the first time, someone said the word people. Mm-hmm. Like, they were like, all the people
I
here.
loved that.
And I was like, thank God. Because I'm so sick of, like, all the animals here. And I'm like, why would they call themselves
pony,
animals?
Exactly.
Right.
Well, it's like who? Okay, they're talking
every
animals.
Pony's fine.
You know?
I like it in My Little Pony because they had like a whole other language.
They do it all the way. But I'm just like, I don't fucking need them to do that. It already doesn't make sense that they can talk, and that's one of the things where I'm willing to suspend my disbelief in that way. Yeah. Just don't annoy me. But then, when it's plot conveniences is where it becomes a little.
Well, it's just like,
you know,
like it's one thing with something like Pony or even like Zootopia, where it's kind of like a fun kitty, hoo-hoo, we're animals, you know, like, so, all the animals in Animal City, you know, but in this movie, it's, like, more trying to be, like, a grounded, real feeling movie, you know, so, like, when they're just, like, all the other people, and I'm like, cool, you know,
cool, they're people.
Yeah, they're all people, they can fucking talk, they're talking animals, you know, man is man, people is just everybody. And I was like, cool. Like, it doesn't... Because that kind of goofy shit would take me out of it even more.
Yes.
To be like,
definitely.
You're the animals. Wee. It's like, this is a movie where people get murdered. You know? Like, a wolf gets fucking thrown off a cliff.
Yes.
It's some Game of Thrones shit, you know?
That part was insane. They don't skip a beat there. He kills them, and it's just like,
yeah.
Go right on.
Fucking wolf dude.
The bad guy is amazing.
It was cool because it was like, yeah, this is like old Disney. Where they could, like, it was more of a classic Disney movie than Disney has been making, you know, where, like, a movie like Zootopia, it has some, like, great themes, some, like, more adult, nuanced themes to it, but no one gets fucking killed.
And I'm glad it's not like those new, what is it, are they Cinderella movies or something, the Huntsman and shit?
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like completely transformative and not really the same story. Where it's like this was the Jungle Book. Like they didn't make it something it's not. This was the Jungle Book, and they did it as true as they could.
Right, but they didn't try to like make it a goofy, fun time for kids.
Yeah, and they also didn't make it too much of a gritty adult movie. Like, it was a kids movie, you know?
Right.
Especially the stuff at the beginning with the wolves. I was like, this is a children's movie we've just piled 8 dudes into.
I didn't feel that at all.
I did, at the very beginning.
I at no point thought this felt like a kids movie. I was like, this is a good, solid feeling. Like, it feels real and gritty and, like, you know, but not in that because, like, I'm sick of, like, because there's a...
It was not the gritty reboot of Jungle Book.
I'm sick of gritty reboot, but I like the realism take. You know, like, it's one thing to be like The Dark Knight.
Fuck!
Like you know, people keep talking about how like people keep blaming the DC movies and stuff on like on the Batman trilogy, right? They're like, oh, everything's got to be gritty now. Like, I'm like, The Dark Knight's not that gritty. Yeah. You know, like, a few people die on camera, but usually in kind of like funny, like people have brought up how they're like, oh, it's so sadistic that the Joker bashes that guy's head into a pencil and everybody laughs, and I'm like, yeah, because it's funny. It's a funny scene. It alleviates.
It's just really the tone of it is very gritty though.
But it's not though. Like, that's what I'm saying, is that those movies were still like kind of fun and goofy, you know, like The Dark Knight is a fun movie. It opens on a bank heist. It's cool. Like, it's a fun time. It's not like a bunch of people like being emo all the time.
Yeah, it's certainly not emo.
Like, it had like characters who, like, Harvey Dent was like this cool, rugged, fun guy who you loved. Yeah. You know, and Batman was like a playboy who was like fucking all these girls on the side, and like, you know, like there's the scene where he purposefully gets into a car accident in like his Corvette or whatever in order to distract the police. And he gets out and he's just pretending like he's like drunk driving or something, you know? Funny shit. Like, there's a bunch of fun little moments of levity, and like the movie never felt like it was trying to be dark. It was trying to be real. It was trying to feel gritty, you know? Yeah, it's pretty dark when Batman's fucking girlfriend dies, but that felt earned because the rest of the movie wasn't like like constant fucking people dying and being sad about stuff. Now, you could say The Dark Knight Rises might have started the trend, because that movie felt pretty dour. And,
I mean, the first Batman felt more dour, too.
I mean, it felt dark, but almost more in, like, the Burton way, where it was, like, very darkly colored and stuff. Yeah. But the main villain was a wacky, crazy man who makes you see funny stuff, you know? Like, I don't know. To me, I didn't feel like those movies were like trying to be grimdark. They were just trying to feel grounded. It was like, this is what Batman would be like, you know? Kind of like the Spider-Man movies, where they kind of felt like, yeah, this is what it would be like if you were Spider-Man, and it felt modern and relatable and real, you know? And then you get into, like, the movies that are, like, Batman v Superman, and it's just like, how dark and gritty can we make it?
It just shoots so far!
How...
into, like, wide!
How deep can the scowl on Superman's face get? You know what I mean?
Yes.
So...
the shield's not doing it for me. Go back to the old one. Had more fire resistance.
Yeah. I think the Jungle Book is more like that. It doesn't feel hokey. It doesn't feel like a kid's movie. But it also doesn't feel like a fucking, like, oh, we made it serious. It's like, no, it's still got songs. It's still got a scene where a kid rides on a bear's belly and they sing a song about it. But it also has a scene where a fucking wolf gets horribly murdered and thrown off a cliff. And a bunch of bison get fucking avalanched on and die. And it was like, oh, Jesus.
Oh, no.
Those happen right in a row, in fact. Yeah.
Another a moment, a criticism I might have, a slight criticism, is when he meets the snake, he's like going up the trees, and he goes like way up the trees, and then he starts to see the snake, and he's way up in them trees, but then he gets saved by Baloo. He gets saved by Baloo,
who doesn't climb.
Who doesn't climb, and he's afraid of heights. Right. And then the whole rest of the movie, he's like won't even go half up a tree, you know?
Right.
And it's like,
what
was he doing?
The trees that in that part weren't really like super climby trees.
It was my YMS criticism.
Yeah.
Because I could see him hating the movie, because the way he shot on Zootopia's little nitpicks, I was like, oh no, he'll destroy the Jungle Book, and then 6 out of 10.
Right. Well, as far as I know, he hasn't seen it. He hasn't done a quickie on it, at least. He hasn't been doing it as many quickies lately, thankfully. I hope he just stops. Oh God! Did you hear Did you listen to the newest PCP?
No, I haven't listened to it. I will.
I go on like a 20-minute Movie Bob takedown.
Oh no!
Like, I just get so mad at Movie Bob, and I just fucking rail on him for like literally 20 minutes.
Did you watch a Superman video?
No, I did not yet.
I watched where he talked about the good parts, and then I stopped when he got to the bad parts, because I was like, I don't fucking care. It was like another 20 minutes. I'm like, no.
The really that good videos are too long. And
yeah.
not because...
he just goes in circles.
Right, not because they're long, but because there's not 40 minutes of content.
Sick of his voice and his horrible audio quality.
Oh, God.
Like, what the fuck? How are you going to put out these feature-length fucking things with, like, these... ridiculous intros and shit.
Right.
Like his intros make it sound like he thinks he's making a feature film.
Right.
Which is funny because it's, you know, I'm so used to everyone else's 40-minute content that his stuff just feels average length, and he's putting these intros on it like it's something special, and I'm like, Yeah. It annoys me with that. And I was like, I don't care.
And asking for money on Patreon to expedite their releases.
Yes.
Fuck you, Movie Bob.
Fucking movie boob. Oh, I shouldn't have
been
done
doing
the
this
power
for 7 years and hasn't fucking improved his audio.
Yeah, what's wrong with that, dude? Just buy like a subpar mic, you know, something decent at least. Sounds like shit.
Yeah, I don't even think he has like a Blue Yeti. It still sounds like he's recording in his
like
laptop.
A phone, man. Yeah, laptop. Like he just clearly doesn't care. Doesn't want to spend the money on it.
Yeah, he's a fucking.
Which doesn't even be that expensive.
As I put it on the Procrastinators podcast, stop eating so much and you'll be able to afford your life, Brian.
True. I mean, he could stop eating for an entire month and he'd survive.
I'm sure. Jesus Christ. The man is enormous.
Ooh.
I don't know what it takes to maintain that physique, but it can't be that cheap.
It's the fat shaming.
There's a part in the podcast where I'm like after we've been ragging on him for being fat for like 20 minutes, I'm like, guys, anyone in the audience, if you're as fat as Movie Bob, don't worry. We love you. It's only gross to be fat if you're also Movie Bob.
True.
It's not the fat that makes us hate him. It's just the easiest thing to pick on about him.
We gotta just, whenever we're done with this episode, just let me beat the boss and then welcome back to Digi Bros.
Yeah, so I also beat Doom.
Doom!
It was great. Doom was awesome.
Cool.
I had a great time. I tried to get all the because there's a lot of secret shit in the game. And so, like, that was part of why I bought it, because, like...
Where do I get that shield that blocks more lightning? Maybe I'm gonna go to the dragon place. Fuck it.
Man.
I'll do the rest of that area.
You'll try.
Yeah. Go up here. Go to the dragon.
Ugh. God. Garbage.
At least get to the guy.
So, I beat Doom. I was talking about it on the last show because we were saying how I rented it and everything.
Yeah.
So I did go back and buy it.
Doom!
Because I knew it had lots of secret stuff and I wanted to try to get it all. So, like, I beat the game and then I started going back through each level. And it's cool because you can basically play New Game Plus. Because after you beat a level, you can go back to it, but you still keep all your new weapons and shit and all your upgrades. So you basically go through the game again, but now you're, like, way overpowered and you can just destroy everything. Which is kind of a double-edged sword. Because as it turns out, like, finding all the secret stuff is not that fun to just try to do by itself. Because the levels are headache-inducing to just run in circles around. Because, like, the stuff is really well hidden. It's actually, like, you know, it's pretty hard to find all the collectibles and all this shit. Like,
legitimately secret.
There was a few times where I was running around, because the levels aren't that big, but you have to be really observant to find the shit. And, like, you know, it's first person and you run really fast. So if you're just running in circles around these small levels, you eventually get a fucking headache. And, like, there were times where I just get sick of running around a level and look up where the last thing is. And I'm like, oh, it was over there,
I never got this before.
So I did, like, a bunch of levels and, like, got all the shit. But, like, I was starting to get a headache, and it was just like, I'm way over... Because the funnest thing about the game is the combat, you know? The secret stuff is fine and all, but the real reason to play is to kill shit. And when you go back through the levels, when you're, like, way overpowered, then the firefights are a fucking joke, you know? And it really makes you see, like, the seams in how the game was made. Because the game is basically about throwing you into a room full of enemies, and you fucking kill them all, you know? But what makes it, like, hard, what makes it stressful is that, you know, you can get killed in just a few hits by certain guys, and you have to manage your ammo well, because you only have so much ammo in each gun, and the firefights last a long time. So it's like, how well can you keep hold of all your the ammo for your big guns before the big guys show up? If you go back through the levels, though, and you've got the super shotgun, you can just kill everything. With the I would play through whole levels only using the super shotgun.
Jesus.
Because it's so OP. And, you know, it's not meant to... And because I'd upgraded it so much.
The super shotgun.
Because all the weapons have, like, really cool upgrade systems. And, like, the super shotgun is supposed to be, like, you reload it after every shot. But eventually you get an upgrade that lets it so you can fire twice before you have to reload. And, man, does that gun become OP as fuck once you get that, you know? So... And if you perform glory kills all the time, then you can constantly regain ammo. So it's like... You're fucking indestructible on the New Game Plus mode. And it's not as fun, because you go into a room and you're just like, alright, I'm just wiping out guys until I can go to the next room so I can get the next, you know, secret thing. And then also, the game has unskippable cutscenes that you have to go through every time.
Oh, God.
So if you go back to a level that has a cutscene...
It's weird that they would have that, because it seems like the game is trying to not be that.
No, dude, it pissed me off, and I'm so glad that finally... The Examined Life of Gaming finally addressed this. You have to run up those rocks right there. Examined Life of Gaming, who is an old friend of Jesse, who's a YouTuber who's very angry about everything. Angriest video game YouTuber ever. This was a guy who, after Watch Dogs came out, legit stopped playing modern games.
Wow.
He dedicated his whole channel to just talking about, like, weird old PC games that nobody cares about. Because he was so upset with the entire modern gaming sphere after Watch Dogs that he just quit. Like, what everyone else says they're gonna do, he actually did.
Amazing.
You know? Although he played the new Doom, and he made a video about it. But he's the only person, because everyone kept talking about how the opening scene, you get up off the table, and this guy starts like expositing dialogue to you, and then you just throw the monitor away.
And then you immediately get in more shit
and then immediately there's actual cutscenes. And no one else was talking about it. Everyone's like, fuck yeah, Doom, fuck the cutscenes. And I'm like, there's unskippable cutscenes. There's like 8 minutes of them throughout the game. Like, those are it's by far the worst part of the game, is that you have to sit through unskippable cutscenes, even when you go back to the levels, And I'm like, where the fuck, like, how did nobody point this out until finally Aiden did, And I was like, thank God,
Have you fought that dragon? Can I, like, fuck him up?
I have no idea. I don't think I fought him.
Fucking salamanders, man. These guys are a bitch. I should fight that guy.
So yeah, I would easily say that's the worst thing about Doom, is the unskippable cutscenes, and I'm glad somebody addressed it in a review. But otherwise, great game. Definitely in my top games. There's no fixed number on that. It's like 22 right now. I've just kind of got a list of everything I've given a 9 or above. And that's in there.
Yeah.
But I really want to play through the Uncharted games again sometime soon, because of Uncharted 4 and you being so hype, I believe it is.
Even though now I don't fucking know. I'm like, was I the most hyped person for Uncharted 4? Did no one else fucking like it?
Well, Jesse loved it. I guess
Jesse liked it, right?
Jesse loved it as much as you did.
That's so annoyed with the Mother's Basement video.
Mother's Basement doesn't like any of them. He hates Uncharted.
Yeah. I'm like, that's the thing. I was like, why the fuck did you even play this one and make a video about it if you didn't fucking like him?
Well, because
Get the fuck out of here.
Well, the thing is, and I get, once he explained it, because we had an argument about it. And once he explained it, I kind of got it. Because he's the guy who doesn't like the game and all he sees is positive reviews.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't see that, though. Like, I see lots of people shit on Uncharted all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm more used to being around people who don't like Uncharted. So, like, but I kind of get it. It gets very critically praised. And the reason what had inspired him to make the video was that petition thing. Did you see that?
No.
There was,
he was talking about how people wanted to get rid of like a negative review or whatever.
Yeah, well,
like that shit I agree. That shit I appreciated. Right. Where it's like,
by the way,
that's a problem.
One of my favorite moments in Dark Souls 3, fucking Havel the Rock having just murdered a dragon, and he's just standing there, and you're like, oh my god.
Oh my god.
This was the biggest moment of pop for me, was seeing fucking Havel having just slayed a dragon. And then you fight him, and he's the hardest NPC in the game. And you fucking get his weapon if you kill him. Coolest shit ever. I lost my shit. I actually died to him once, too. Like, I got right to the end of the fight and then died. And I was like, oh, fuck you, Havel. But as a strength build guy, this was like fighting my god. You know, it was like, yes, I want Havel's thing. Especially because he uses a weapon art, which he didn't have before, which makes it even
cooler place to find him than locked in a tower.
Right. Yeah, man. And he just killed... You can tell he just killed this dragon, because he's a dragon slayer, you know, and he's got a fucking dragon tooth as a weapon. So cool.
And then all the stuff you find around it is also, like, dragon slayer shit. Like it killed all the other dudes he was with.
Right.
And then he beat it, and he's just, like, looking at it.
Yes,
oh, shit,
and then he fucking weapon arts,
fuck,
and you're like,
fuck,
yes.
Fuck. Oh, I got stunned.
Not only is it Havel, but it's stronger Havel.
Wow.
That is kind of...
I should have just ran in and got that item and got the fuck out of there, which I will do next time.
Yeah, I guess that's it for this episode.
Whatever.
Next time on Digi Bros.
Fuck!